Hello everyone, welcome back to Oculus Occulta. Today's Pick a Card reading will be answering the general question, will I be happy with the results or outcome of a given situation? So whatever you're thinking about or worried about, we're asking if the outcome will be favorable to you. If you want to skip past the introductions, the timestamps for your groups are in the description box below. For those of you sticking around, to give you some examples of what might apply here, perhaps you're asking about a legal case or an upcoming exam, and you want to know if the outcome will be in your favor. Will you win? Will you pass? Perhaps it's about getting into a school or getting a particular job. You want to know if you'll get a positive outcome when you hear back from those institutions. Will your business idea have a good outcome? It may also be about how an event will go, like a party or a wedding or a presentation. Of course, you can always ask about love as well, like maybe if an upcoming date will go well, or if you'll be happy with a present that you know is coming your way. Should you reach out to someone? How will that interaction go? Or just in general, if the overall outcome of a relationship will be positive or difficult. Before we begin, I'd like to warn you that I do read the cards honestly, and while I try to be gentle, I do have to tell the truth, or else there won't be any point in us doing this or any other reading. So please, if you are sensitive or very attached to the outcome of this situation or this reading, then I suggest you click away in the event you hear something you might not like. With that being said, I want to re-emphasize, as I always do, that this and all other tarot readings on this channel are for fun and entertainment purposes only, and should not be misconstrued as advice of any kind. I cannot determine your destiny, I can only read energies, and group tarot readings such as this one will prompt general answers. Remember that the future is in your hands. You have the power to manifest what you want, and all decisions in your life should be made by you, and not any one tarot reader, whether that be online or in person. Please also be on the lookout for scammers in the comments of this and all other spiritual channels here on YouTube as well as TikTok. I will never ask for your personal information, and I do not solicit readings. If someone asks to perform a reading for you under my name, they are a scam account and should be blocked and/or reported immediately. I will never message you first on any platform. Currently, I am not booking personal readings. However, donations are always welcome, and the information necessary to send any donations my way will be in the description box below. It should go without saying that donations are never mandatory, and they should only be given if you feel strongly called to do so. If you would like to find me on other social media platforms, all of those links will be in the description box of this video. If you are interested in any of the decks or other items I have used in this video, the Amazon affiliate links will be provided for you in the description box below as well. Amazon affiliate links provide a small commission to me on any and all purchases you make through the link I provide at no additional cost to you. It is one way to help support the channel if you feel called to do so. With that, let's start the reading. Go ahead and think about your question or situation, and we are asking, will I be happy with the outcome? Take a few deep breaths and concentrate on the question and the outcome that you would like. Remember that your destiny is always in your own hands. If you don't like the answer you hear today, don't despair and don't worry. Stay calm and remember that you can change it. Tarot reads current energies and will show us the most likely outcome of the path that we are on today. If you don't like what the cards have to say, you can always change that path and change the outcome. With that being said, I hope you do in fact get the answer you want and keep moving along the path that's right for you. Let's begin. We have Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. Go ahead and pause the video and make your decision, and I'll see you in your pile. Hello Group 1, and welcome to your reading. You chose the card of Neptune and the Tiger's Eye stone. Unfortunately, I can't see if this is focusing or not, so I'm going to trust that it is. This is the Tiger's Eye stone. Tiger's Eye has to do with empowerment and courage. I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. And the card of Neptune here, Neptune in astrology has to do with the collective consciousness. It is a card of water, so you might actually have heavy water placements in your birth chart. You don't have to. You might associate the situation with water, meaning either literally or somebody who is associated with the situation might have heavy water placements. For example, you might be asking about a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, or any situation that involves a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, or a situation that would be timed in the time of when a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces would be born. For example, in the summer for Cancer, around October, November for Scorpio, and around, I believe, February to March for Pisces. Neptune is the god of the ocean or the sea, so whatever you're asking about may have something to do with nautical movement, so shipping, oceanography, marine biology, things of that nature. Since water is also associated with emotions, this could be something that has to do with psychology, emotions. I'm even hearing obstetrics and gynecology. So you could be asking about a pregnancy, or if you're taking an exam, this could be a licensing or a board exam that has to do with maybe urology or OBGYN studies. It could also be phlebotomy, anything that's fluid or liquid like blood. And in that vein, it could also not just represent necessarily healthcare, but it could also be family that you're asking about, blood relatives, for example. Neptune tends to take about 14 years in each sign as it travels around the zodiac wheel. So the number 14 could be relevant to you, 14 years. You could be asking about someone who is 14 years old. You could be asking about something that has taken 14 years or will take 14 years. 14 brought down to one number is 5, so same sort of idea. It could be someone that you're asking about who is 5 years old, something that will take 5 years or has taken 5 years. And that's just the symbolism that I'm trying to intuit from this card alone, which is our first card. Neptune and Venus are both linked to the day of Friday, so this could have something to do with either a test date, a court date, a wedding, a presentation, a date, anything that has to do with a date or time. It could be on a Friday. You could receive results or an outcome on a Friday. This is just, if it resonates. Neptune is also the ruler of the 12th house in the zodiac, and the 12th house has to do with prisons, mental institutions, hospitals, any institution where you might spend a long time there. So it could also be graduate school. It may even represent a church, in that people tend to go to church over a long period of time, let's say over their lifetime. And churches are normally, at least in the West, where weddings take place, and weddings are theoretically supposed to last a long time. So whatever this is, you may be asking about something whose outcome has a long-term consequence, or something that you have been working on for a very long time, and you're asking about the outcome. Or it is something that you're just now starting that you're hoping will last a long time. Okay, so that's everything I can try to derive out of the Neptune card itself. Let me see if I can put it in frame. You'll have to forgive me. I'm going to eventually, at some point, have a better setup where I can actually see what's going on and not cut off the cards. Okay, let's see. Okay, as I was saying, the church is involved. And I'm not saying that you are a Christian and a church is actually involved. I'm saying symbolically the church is involved. So what does the church represent? It represents stability, or at least it's supposed to. It's supposed to represent something that is lasting a long time. It is an institution. The Hierophant card tells me that this is an institution that is long-standing. It is a large institution. Again, it could be a graduate school. It could be a corporation. Anything that's just a large institution. It could be government. Even as I was saying, in the more negative aspects of the 12th house, it could be a prison. It could be a mental institution. So it could even be a hospital. And we have that card in reverse, which tells me that there is a little bit of instability. You are unsure about the outcome right now. Obviously you are, otherwise you wouldn't be on a tarot video. You believe currently that the outcome will be negative, or at least you don't see a way in which it could be positive. Nevertheless, I see the Judgment card here, and the Judgment card is actually a very good card, especially since it's in the upright position. Judgment itself is an outcome. And because it's upright, these people are celebrating. They are ready for their judgment, presumably because they have done well, they've done good, they have done what they're supposed to, and now they are ready with open arms to receive a judgment that is in their favor. So again, if this is a court, you might be nervous about whether or not the court will see you in a favorable light or will be fair to you. And here I do see that the judgment outcome will be positive. The middle card, which is the Seven of Swords in reverse, tells me that you do not have to be sneaky or shady or do anything contrived or sneaky in order to get this positive judgment. And you didn't want to do that anyway. So if you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to lie, let's say on a resume or to the court or to a partner, or lie on an application, you don't need to do that anyway. You're going to get a positive outcome. Let's keep going. Again, I need to check that these cards are in frame. There we go. Okay, good. So the Two of Cups reversed, again, simply emphasizes your concern about whether or not your outcome will see your point of view. So if this is a person, you want to know if they're going to see you or view you in a good light. If it's a partnership, you want, like a business partnership, you want to know if the other person trusts you, and you seem to be a little bit worried about whether or not you are coming off in a sincere way. With the Queen of Wands reverse, I sort of feel a little bit of imposter syndrome, or the idea that you are not extremely confident in the situation for whatever reason. You are letting your nervousness and anxiety get the better of you. But the Three of Wands is someone who's waiting for their ships to come in. And so this is a long-term planning, looking forward to the future. There is an assured ship that is coming in. I'm not sure if you can see it, and I don't know how well there's going to be focus here, but there is a ship in the distance. And even in the classic Rider-Waite, there are ships that are coming in. So the idea is that this person is waiting not for nothing. They're waiting for something that is assuredly going to come in. And to me, that's that positive judgment for you. The Knight of Cups, Strength in the middle, and then the Knight of Pentacles. Again, there's an emphasis on stability, something that's going to take a long time, something that has taken a long time, but with strength right in the middle. Not only are you falsely believing that you cannot do this, you cannot attain this, this is not going to work out for you. That is completely false. It's not just that, it's that this is such a sure outcome that is in fact positive for you that it's almost silly for you to worry about it. The strength that you have here is, the fierceness is just remarkable. And you see under the lion's feet and this goddess's feet are ghosts. Let's say these are ghosts of the past, ghosts of anxiety, negative thoughts and negative spirits. All of these things that they may symbolize are being stepped on. The Knight of Cups, normally the knights look like they're offering something or they're charging towards something. These two knights in particular, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, in the classic Rider-Waite, they are in fact offering something. The Knight of Cups is offering a cup, the Knight of Pentacles is offering a pentacle, or at least he's contemplating it. Now, the Knight of Cups in reverse, in conjunction with the Knight of Pentacles that is upright, I feel that whatever this is, if there is a financial component to it, that is the better option, or that outcome will be positive. Meaning, if there are two things that you're choosing between or asking about, the one that is more emotional versus the one that is more practical, if you are comparing those two outcomes, the more practical outcome is the one that's going to win over. So again, I don't know the context of what you're asking about, so it could be a person. If it's a person, let's go with some zodiac signs. Let's say the person that you're asking about who is closer to a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, is not the better choice, or is not the one that you should choose, or not the one who's going to give you the outcome that you want, but the more stable earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, that's going to be the better outcome. For example, if this is a love interest and you're asking what is the outcome between the two, or which person would be better, it would be the Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Or if you're asking about dates, the timing that would be better with a more beneficial outcome would be the one that corresponds to the birthdays of those who are in the earth sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I believe Taurus is around May, end of April to May. That's Taurus. And then we have Virgo, which is around the end of August to September. And Capricorn, which is around January. So I believe the end of December to January. So those are the dates. You also have Leo here in the middle, as strength represents the lion Leo, if we're talking about zodiac and timing. Overall, a non-emotional outcome. This is not something that's going to upset you. And in fact, a bright, even financially sound outcome is what we're looking at. So overall, the cards are extremely positive. Let me get your last few cards. Okay, I can say with a good bit of certainty, with the last card being the Wheel of Fortune here, that this outcome is absolutely positive. The Wheel of Fortune being upright here means good luck, good fortune. The outcome is very positive. So whatever it is you're asking about, the outcome is a yes, it's a positive. This is the Five of Cups in reverse. Five of Cups is normally disappointment, sadness. This is in the reverse, so that tells me for sure this is a positive outcome, whatever you're asking about. I was trying to, decipher the context, but in reality, there's really no need for me to speculate necessarily what you're asking about. I can tell you now the outcome is a resounding yes, so it doesn't really matter what you're asking about. The answer is yes, the outcome will be positive. Here we have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is in reverse here. In the classic Rider-Waite, the upright Six of Swords is moving away from chaos and turmoil to better waters, but this imagery is different, right? So for me, this is like a scholar, because this person has a book, but if you see, his head is full of these spokes that are poking into him. So to me, it is simply a matter of the swords being about thoughts. So whatever negative thoughts or whatever feelings that you have that you're not prepared, you're not knowledgeable enough, you didn't do enough, that's in the reverse. So that tells me that you have done enough, you are enough, and you're good enough, and the outcome is going to be positive. The Page of Cups here is upright. The Page of Cups in the classic Rider-Waite is a youth who is looking at a cup that has a fish in it. So this is about creativity, and the eyes look like little hearts here. There's a cup of hearts. So if this is, again, it doesn't really matter what you're asking about, and I honestly shouldn't be speculating, because it doesn't matter. The outcome is positive, so it doesn't matter what you're asking about. But if it's about love, any of the cups, but this Page of Cups is very, it's a good, it forebodes good things in the relationship. And I will say this with some caution, because I try not to do health readings, and I try not to talk about pregnancy. But if you are looking to get pregnant, the Page of Cups is a very good card for that. And that outcome, if you're asking about how a pregnancy is going to go, that's going to be excellent. And I believe that is all I have for you, pile 1, for this reading. I know that was a quick reading, but I think we want a quick and dirty answer, and the quick and dirty answer here is yes, absolutely. Whatever it is you're thinking about, the outcome will be favorable. If it's about winning, you will absolutely win. If it's about passing an exam, you will pass that exam, no problem. If it's about a relationship, once again, I shouldn't be speculating, but whatever you are asking about, it is a wish come true, and it is definitely positive, and it is for the long term. So whatever you're asking about, there's a lot of stability attached to it. A lot of, like, this is something where the rewards are long lasting and long term. So yes, I think that's all I have for you. And please let me know if that resonated or not. And yeah, I wish you all the best in whatever this is and with everything else that's going on for you. Best of luck. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. You chose the card of Jupiter and the carnelian stone. Carnelian has to do with motivation and endurance. Let me put that there. In astrology, Jupiter is the major benefactor. He is the reward giver. He's associated with abundance and giving and wishes that come true. He very much reminds me of Santa Claus. So whatever you ask for, Jupiter is the one to give it to you without any sort of questioning. For example, in contrast to Saturn, who wants you to earn whatever you have, Jupiter gives freely. Jupiter is the ruler of the sky, so this might be related to air signs, and the air signs include Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you may be asking about a situation that involves either you yourself, who is an air sign, or somebody else who is an air sign. Air may be heavy in your chart or the other person's chart if you're asking about another person who might be involved. Or you may be asking about a situation that takes place during the time when an air sign would be born. So for example, for Gemini, I believe that is the end of May to June. So at the beginning of the summer. And then for Libra, that is end of September to October. And for Aquarius, that's the end of January to February. So that could be the timeline about either when this event is going to happen or when you will receive results or an outcome or a judgment. Jupiter tends to spend 1 year in each sign as it goes around in the zodiac wheel. So the question that you might have could pertain to something that takes a year, has taken a year, will take place during the year. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you're watching this, it could be within the span of the year that you are watching it in. It could be about somebody who is 1 year old, or it could be about a relationship that has lasted at least a year. Take it as it resonates, of course. This is just what I'm coming up with as I'm looking at the symbolism for Jupiter. Jupiter is associated with the day of the week of Thursday, so this could have something to do with that day. That could be when you get your results or when you get your judgment or when you might have a presentation or an exam or a wedding or whatever it is that you're asking about. Thursday could be significant to that event or the outcome. Jupiter rules the 9th house on the zodiac wheel, and the 9th house has to do with higher education as well as travel. So your question could pertain to either or both of those things. Okay, so let's keep going and see what the other cards are for you. Okay, so you have Death in reverse, 5 of Pentacles in reverse, and the 8 of Wands. Off the bat, I'm seeing a lot of anxiety about the situation. There's a lot of communication and talking back and forth. So I don't know if there are arguments or if you're supposed to state your case or make a point. There might have something to do with speaking. So if you have to speak, the outcome for that is very positive because this is upright. The anxiety that you feel that normally comes with the Death card and the Five of Pentacles, it's in reverse. So it tells me that this is of your own making, in the sense of you're nervous for no reason. If you have to speak, or if this is something where you have to take action, whatever the outcome is, it actually does look very positive. This is a bright color versus how you feel about the situation, which is actually quite anxiety ridden, which is understandable. Again, I'm trying to put some context to the situation, but it's really not necessary for answering the question. Overall, already this looks fairly positive, and it does tell me that you have a little bit of nervousness. You're worried that something might end, something might slip away, that you won't have access to something, that you'll be left out in the cold. However, none of that is true. There's a brightness here that's in the sort of outcome or ending position. But let's keep going. Whatever this is, you might feel like you're not getting enough collaboration. The people around you, if there are other people involved, you might feel like you're unduly taking on more responsibility than you should or than is necessary. Nevertheless, the outcome for you is incredibly positive. Now, the reason I say that is because the Chariot is upright. This is a determined person. This is someone who, despite everything, is going to make it. Whether anybody likes it or not, whether anybody's involved or not. So the outcome of whatever this is, let's say an exam, a legal judgment, an application, a job offering, a presentation, or a wedding, a relationship, a date, all of these things are going to go very positively. If you're the one planning the date is going to be fantastic. It's going to go well. It's going to go according to plan. There won't be any disasters or hiccups or anything of that nature. Now, the Four of Wands, normally in the classic Rider-Waite, represents a Jewish wedding. This card is so positive that even when it's reversed, it still has an element of positivity to it. It gives the entire reading a positive angle. So even if your cards were negative, which they are not here, the Four of Wands, even in reverse, would basically negate that. So based off of these cards alone, and I'm going to pull a few more, I would say that the outcome is actually very positive. And I would say that it's positive because of you, your determination, your work that you put in, your speech, your contribution. If there, let's say it's a presentation and it's a group presentation, you're the one who's going to get the grade because you're the one who put in all the effort. If it's a relationship, that's not to say that the other person isn't necessarily putting in effort. It's just that you are way more adept in, let's say, emotional intelligence, so that you are the one directing whatever it is in the correct path. So you're the one who's taking this Chariot onto the right path. So whether that's a group project, a speech that you're giving, an exam, anything that it could be. And I said this for the first pile, the context really doesn't matter when I'm looking at the outcome. I'm just trying to give myself some footing when I'm trying to think about all the different situations that might be out there, because it's a general reading. But whatever this is that you're asking about, the anxiety that you have about it, or your concerns, or your feelings that people aren't cooperating, don't worry about it. You're still going to have a positive outcome. Okay, so again, the collaboration aspect might not be there, but if this is a relationship, both parties are going to benefit from your expertise. Okay, and again, this is emotional intelligence. You are the King of Cups here. So again, I like to tell people it doesn't matter. King doesn't necessarily mean man. Queen doesn't necessarily mean woman. These are energies that we're looking at. So you are the master of emotion. So if this is about something that has to do with a relationship, you have the emotional mastery to pull this other person onto the right path. Again, this is coming onto the Chariot. So I know that this is you. The Three of Swords in reverse is fantastic to see, because any sort of sadness, any sort of disappointment, fear, anxiety about a bad outcome, completely unwarranted. There's stability, emotional abundance. So whatever it is that you're asking about, this is definitely a good outcome. And once again, it's because of you. You're the reason that this is going to work, whatever it is that you're asking about. So I see here you have a lot of mixed emotions. Strength is reversed here. So that tells me that you're not feeling in your element. You're not feeling like the outcome is going to be good. Nevertheless, you do have the strength necessary. And once again, I see you being the leader in this situation. So whatever it is that you're asking about, that you are involved in, your part in whatever you're asking about is the reason that this is going to succeed. It's your intellect, it's your emotional stability, it's your emotional intelligence, it's your actual intelligence. It's everything that you're bringing to the table that's going to pull, let's say, a company up into success, a relationship or a marriage up into success. You are the one pulling the weight. You are the one leading the chariot. And I'm seeing that, okay, going hand in hand with the idea that perhaps you don't feel supported in this process, in whatever this is, if it's a group project or the relationship or friendship, or let's say it's a business partnership and you're doing all the work. You are doing all the work and you're not getting the recognition that you deserve. I do see that. And that might sort of discourage you and make you feel exhausted, make you feel unappreciated. And when we feel unappreciated, we sort of don't want to continue taking the reins and moving forward. But I truly advise that you continue with this chariot work, right? So you stay determined. Don't worry about whether other people are recognizing you necessarily or not. Now, if you asked about a raise, I will say this about that, because the Hanged Man is here. The Hanged Man normally talks about sacrifice, but it also can talk about being in a stagnant situation or something that might take a while. Again, with Jupiter, it might take a year, whatever it is you're asking. Now, I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, but compared to certain other timelines, I think a year actually goes by pretty quickly, but that's not for me to say. My point here is that it might take a year for you to get recognition. If you're asking about a promotion, it might take a year, or it might just take a certain amount of time, a little bit longer than you are hoping, right? So because of the Hangman being next to the card of recognition, if this was upright here, I would say, yes, you're getting the recognition you deserve. But because it's reverse, she's also essentially harvesting, right? So reaping what we sow. That's not coming in just yet. It is coming, but not just yet. So whatever the answer is here, the answer is yes. The outcome will be good. It just might take a little bit longer than you would like, is what I'm seeing. So I believe that's all I see for you, group 2. I know this was a very quick reading, but it's almost like a quick yes or no. The outcome is favorable. Definitely, I see that being a good outcome for you. That is 100% your doing. And if nobody recognizes it or appreciates you, let me tell you that I very much appreciate you. I very much recognize that this is all your hard work that's going to make this happen. So yes, best of luck to you. I hope that resonated. If it did, please let me know. If it didn't, please let me know. I really do like to learn about the context of what I'm reading. Since it's general, it becomes a little bit difficult. But yes, all the best to you in this situation and every other situation that you find yourself in. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Virgo card and the Snowflake Obsidian. The Snowflake Obsidian has to do with balance and fulfillment. Let's put that in the corner. You chose Virgo, which is an earth sign. So this situation that you're asking about may have something to do with a Virgo. You may be a Virgo. You may have strong Virgo placements in your chart. Or if you're asking about another person, that person may be a Virgo or have a strong Virgo in their chart. As an earth sign, it could also be that earth is very prominent in your chart or the other person's chart. Or this is a situation that is going to occur around August to September. That could be the timeline. You may get your results in around August or September. And this is a timeless reading, so you would have to take it as it resonates in terms of the dates, but this is just the symbolism that I'm trying to pick up from this card alone. Virgo is the sign of the Virgin. This is a euphemism for a child. So you could be asking about a child, or you could be asking about a situation that concerns a child or your child. This could be an adult child as well. It doesn't have to be a young person, but Virgo does represent young people and children, which is, again, why they say it's the sign of the Virgin. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is actually, incidentally, if you were also attracted to the fourth card in this pick-a-pile, that was Mercury. So you may have a message in there as well, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the fastest planet in its orbit. It also has to do with communication and especially speaking. So this could be something related to speaking, communication, written communication. So I could imagine this has to do with an application, a legal judgment, a presentation that you have to give, a speech, something that needs to be communicated to another person, anything that has to do with documents or verbal or oral agreements, verbal or oral communication. In terms of the other earth signs, aside from Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn are also earth signs. Those signs may be important or prominent, either for you, the situation, or somebody else who's involved. It could also represent the timeline that this event might occur or the results might occur. So we said for Virgo that was around end of August to September. For Taurus, that I believe that is end of April to May. And then for Capricorn, that is end of December to January. So those dates could be relevant. You would have to take that how that resonates. I'm just, again, trying to pull out as many symbols as I can from Virgo here. What's interesting is that the Snowflake Obsidian has to also do with purification. And Virgo being represented as the Virgin with white lilies, that's also about purity. Now, I can't necessarily put the context to what that has to do with your situation, but you will have to make that decision on whether that makes sense for your situation or not. Virgo typically in the zodiac wheel, I believe, is in the 6th house, which is associated with health. So your question might actually have to do with health. I try not to do health readings. Again, this is for fun and entertainment purposes only. But if you are asking about a health situation, that is coming through in this card in particular. You could very well be asking about an exam that is in the healthcare field. You could be in healthcare. This could have to do with infectious disease, STDs, or other matters of sexual health. Okay, so let's see what else we can see with the tarot. I'm trying my best to keep everything in frame, but my setup is not set up for that, so I apologize. So in terms of trying to give this context, and I did mention this in the other groups, whatever the outcome is, which we're going to see here in a minute, it doesn't really matter what context I try to give, but you will have to suffer through me trying to parse that out. The outcome is going to be the outcome, but whatever you're asking about in terms of the tarot and what it's showing me for context, whatever this is a highly competitive situation. There seems to be other people who are competing for whatever it is you're asking about, whether that is a partner, whether that is an exam or a school, job, whatever this is. I can see that there's a lot of competition. You are definitely having to put your best foot forward. This is, of course, making you feel as if you do not have what it takes. You don't know if what you're offering is good enough, if it's going to be accepted, because there's too many other people involved. There's too much competition going on. With the Devil reversed, this harkens back to health, actually. Here we are shedding an unhealthy situation, a toxic situation. So whatever it is you're asking about, it looks like the outcome is slowly coming into fruition on a healthier level. Let's say the soil in which you are cultivating whatever it is you're asking about, that soil is now becoming richer, is becoming more nutrient, and whatever was toxic, evil, which is such a dramatic word to use, but just non-beneficial, that is going away. So again, you'll have to take it how it resonates. I know I have to use very vague language because it's a general reading and the context is very varied, but this is already looking pretty favorable. So let's pull some more cards. So whatever anxieties you're having about the situation, you're gonna have to let that go. I can see that there's a lot of blocked energy here. You might feel like you don't know what to do. You don't know how this outcome is going to manifest itself. You feel like perhaps there's an element of sneakiness that you are trying to avoid. If there's any lies that might be involved here, you do not want to engage in that. So for example, if this is a legal case, you want to make sure that you're coming in with the truth. You're coming in honest, because you know that putting toxicity behind, like not being a toxic person, presenting yourself as righteous, truly righteous, not just fabricating or faking it, putting everything out there is what's going to get you the best outcome. I do see, however, it's a little bit difficult for you to let go of your anxiety of this situation. This must be a very serious situation. I think what you're asking about, if it's health, that's a serious situation. If it's a legal matter, it's a very serious legal matter with very serious consequences. It could very well be about prison even. And the reason I say that is because this, just looking at it, it looks so much like a prison cell. So whatever the outcome of this is, it seems like it has a very serious consequence to it. It could also explain that instead of competition, this could be just arguments. If you or the person you're asking about or the situation you're asking about is trying to avoid a punishment, it's going to take a lot of arguing, a lot of speaking, a lot of proving, a lot of being honest in the process in order to attain a good outcome. If this is an exam, You may have an opportunity to cheat, and I would tell you, do not do it. Do not do it, because there are serious consequences. These are cards of a serious consequence to an action. And if you are thinking about being sneaky, I highly suggest that you do not do it. Do not take any shortcuts in this path. If you're considering lying to a partner, which I don't think you are, because I can see this is in reversed, I don't think you want to do that. Honesty is the theme here, which takes us out of the devil energy and takes us out of the Seven of Swords. You might not know what to do, what plan of action to take. A plan that you have may have fallen through, or you're reconsidering it. I would say the plan you have that has to do with, that has the most to do with honesty, with bearing your soul. If it's a matter of, oh, should I tell the truth? The answer is yes, you should go with that choice. If it's a matter of, for example, should I lie on a resume? No, you should not, because that will have a consequence. Should I cheat on the exam? No. Should I cheat on my partner? No. Should I tell them the truth? Yes. Will they tell me the truth? Yes. Let's pull some more cards to get a little bit more context. Okay, this has to do with a decision, it seems. A decision of some sort. You got another two, the Two of Swords. I'm getting the idea that, again, this is a decision, or this outcome has consequences that you are concerned about. I will say this, by now, up until just this moment, I could not necessarily with 100% certainty say that the outcome overall would be good or bad, except to say that it's a heavy decision. I can say now with some certainty, thankfully, the outcome will be beneficial. And it's going to be beneficial in a long-term sense, and especially if it has to do with finances, this is going to be financially a very good situation, a very good outcome. If there is another person involved, because I do not think this is you, I think this is another person, or possibly an institution. Let me say this, it looks as if this person or this institution by default decision will give you what you want. It's under the, or it's over the card of competition and arguments. So whatever effort you're putting into it, whoever is in charge of this outcome is going to say, look, I've heard enough. You're absolutely right. Decision is yours. The outcome is favorable. For example, if this is about an exam, you've overstudied. You're overqualified. The job would be, if it's a job application, listen, in terms of competition, you stood out the most. Or if it's a court situation, the other party didn't show up, or they said, okay, no contest, we give up. Again, I'm trying my best to put context, but to tell you the truth, it doesn't really matter, because with this card, the answer is there. The answer is that the outcome is good. This could be about a relationship even. So whoever this person is that was giving you a hard time, maybe you guys were arguing. Will they stop being mad? Will they have better communication? Will we get back together? Whatever question that has to do with a relationship, the answer is yes. That 10 of Pentacles really gives me a lot of hope. Let's keep going. You have the Two of Swords again. These are the same card. You have the Lovers in reverse, Pentacles. That's the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords came up reversed here. Once again, the theme is essentially, in the classic Rider-Waite, it has to do with being sneaky, normally, okay? But the imagery itself is actually somebody who went into the military camp of an opposing force and has stolen their weapons. And he had to be sneaky, but he was successful. Now, in this particular deck, we have the word hope and reflection here, which in combination with the Seven of Swords, which was reversed in below here under these cards, this tells me that the reflection portion is that you're still contemplating either lying or being a little bit deceptive, cheating. You're contemplating it. You're thinking about it because you think that this is the only way to gain success, to beat over the competition. I don't recommend it. I really don't. With Virgo being your card, that is the symbol of purification and innocence. So if this is, again, a court case, you are innocent, and I think that's enough through your honesty to prove to the court and prove to the judge or prove to whoever that you are in fact innocent. So I would not compromise that. Even if you're thinking about it, I would not suggest it. If you're asking about a love situation, it looks like the relationship is a little bit rocky at the moment. That is not going to always be the case. There is a little bit of resistance with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, but overall, because this card here says hope on it, as well as reflection, whoever you're asking about, whatever the relationship is, that is going to blossom into a positive outcome. And again, this card in and of itself, the Ten of Pentacles, tells me that the long-term outcome will be positive. Now, are there going to be certain situations up until that Ten of Pentacles where something might be cut short? There might be a small loss here or there? Maybe. It's like the phrase, you might have lost the battle, but at the end you're going to win the war. That's the vibe I'm getting off of this. The Lover's card also has to do with a decision. It's in reverse, and with the King of Swords, who sometimes also represents, let's say, a judge or a lawyer or a physician, a surgeon. They're in reverse. So it could very well be that initially the outcome or the answer seems negative, but because of this Ten of Pentacles, it tells me that overall the overall outcome is positive. You do have a rocky road, and I'm going to say that it's again competitive. There's arguments. There's a lot of having to prove yourself, a lot of temptation to go astray and either cheat or lie. I would not recommend that because the consequences of that might be too severe. And I don't want to ignore that this Two of Swords in this deck is a pair of scissors, which makes me think, okay, something is going to be cut short. Perhaps there's something that needs to be, you need to separate yourself from something or someone in the process of this, whatever the situation is. I'm trying to make this fit for you, but ultimately you're the one who's going to know if this resonates with your situation or not. But ultimately, you have a rocky road. You have a bit of competition ahead of you. You have a good bit of having to argue. I understand you're very anxious about this. Nevertheless, the outcome, I'm going to leave this card because there is a lot of hope for a positive outcome in the long term. So the answer overall is yes. This Ten of Pentacles is there, and it's anchoring us in this reading that you've got a lot going on and you've got a lot to sort out, both emotionally, mentally, and perhaps certain steps that you have to take. But at the end of the day, you have a wonderful, wonderful outcome coming for you. So I believe that is all I have for you, Pile 3. Hopefully that resonated. If it did, please let me know. And if it didn't, please let me know, because I'd like to understand the context when I'm doing these readings. When they're general, it becomes kind of chaotic. So yeah, I think that's it. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. I wish you the best of luck in this situation as well as every other situation you find yourself in. And yeah, best of luck. Bye-bye. Hello, Group 4, and welcome to your reading. You chose the card of Mercury and the blue aventurine. Blue aventurine has to do with balance and communication, which is very interesting because Mercury is also the ruler of communication. Let me put this here in the corner. This is Group 4, Mercury, and in Group 3 we had Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and I let people in Group 3 know that they might have a message here for them as well, so I will let you know the same thing. Because Mercury rules Virgo and Group 3 was Virgo, you may have a message in there for you. Again, Mercury has to do with communication, and this is all kinds of communication, including written as well as speaking communication. So whatever you're asking about might have to do with either a, for example, an oral presentation, or a message that you need to send, or a message that you need to receive. Let's say results of an exam, outcome of a court case, a discussion that needs to occur between people. It could have to do with any sort of message that you either need to receive or give to somebody else. Aside from Virgo, Mercury also rules Gemini. So in terms of timing, it could have something to do with the timing of Virgo and Gemini. Gemini, I believe they are born around June because they come before Cancer. So this could be something in early summer. So end of May, beginning of June could be the timeline. It could also be the end of August, beginning of September, which is Virgo's time. Mercury, since it rules two zodiac signs, Gemini and Virgo, who are air and earth respectively, this could have something to do with either traveling by plane or traveling by car. Mercury is also the fastest planet, so this could be something that occurs quickly. This is a timeless reading, so you'll have to take it how it resonates in terms of the dates and the timing, but just based off of what Mercury represents, I'm trying to get as much symbolism out of it as I can that may or may not be relevant to you. Mercury is holding the caduceus here, which is the symbol of the two snakes. The two snakes represent medicine as well. Virgo rules the fourth house, and since Mercury rules Virgo, the fourth house has to do with health and wellness. I generally try to stay away from health readings, but if you're asking about health, then that's coming through in this card as well, which is also why I'm saying you might have a message for you in Group 3. And I think that's it for Mercury. Let us see what the tarot has to say. We have the High Priestess in reverse, the Four of Cups, and then the Knight of Pentacles. Off the bat, I'm seeing an offer that's being given to you that you may not necessarily like. You might have something else that you're looking for. You are being offered one thing but hoping for something different. The High Priestess here, sometimes she represents law, and so this could be a court case. This could be something that has to do with a legal matter. This could be an institution, such as a hospital or a school. It could even represent a government institution. A lot of the cards that show an authority figure that's seated, such as the Hierophant, the Emperor, the High Priestess, did I say the Hierophant already? And Justice. Those cards tend to represent institutions, governments, large schools, large companies. So this could have something to do with even tangentially something to do with those institutions, such as if you're asking about even a marriage or a relationship, a long-term commitment, that usually is layered through a large institution such as a church. So that's sort of the context that I'm trying to grapple with here. Overall, when we're looking at outcomes, it doesn't matter. It's either a yes or no. Either you'll get a good outcome or you won't. And I generally should not try to speculate, but it helps me read the cards better as I'm pulling in the energies and trying to fill in the blanks and fill in the context. So with these cards, I'm feeling as if an outcome isn't necessarily what you want because you were hoping for something different. And that's right off the bat. We still have to continue to look at the cards. So the energies of these two middle cards are very similar. You are walking away from these cups. This person is rejecting this cup that's being offered to them. With the Page of Wands, I feel like there's a certain sense of disappointment, a feeling like you can't get something off the ground, you can't manifest what it is that you want, whatever it is, it's taking a long time to make the decision. There's a lot of juggling, a lot of time spent on this situation. Ultimately, it looks like the outcome of this particular situation is not what you want. However, these are not such negative cards that the outcome is detrimental. It's more of a soft disappointment, perhaps, where if it's like a present, for example, it might be what you wanted, but it's the wrong size. And now you have to go return it and deal with having to communicate that you want something different, or it's the wrong color. Or if it's a certificate that has your name on it, your name is spelled wrong, and you have to go through the motions of having to get that corrected. It feels like it's that level of disappointment. So it's not so tragic. It's not detrimental. This is not like a horrible outcome. I just feel like you're not thrilled with it, whatever this outcome is. So it's hard to say that it's a bad outcome, it's a negative outcome. I think it's just a little bit, a tiny bit inconvenient or disappointing. Again, let's keep going and get a little bit more clarity. So again, a lot of these cards with the Ace of Swords reversed as well as the Queen of Cups reversed, I'm seeing that there's just a touch of disappointment here. It's not the Five of Cups where it's just really sad and really disappointing, and there's no abundance of swords cards here. So I have to grapple with the context. It just feels like a slight disappointment. The consequences are not so dire. It might just be news that you didn't want to hear. It might be some effort that you put in that it didn't turn out necessarily as fully reciprocated as you wanted or as fulfilled as you wanted. So this really just gives me the vibes of something that didn't fit right. It didn't look as good as it did on the hanger, sort of thing, like once you put it on. And I'm using that analogy of like clothing that didn't fit. Obviously, you could be asking about a court case. So let's say you're asking about something serious. The outcome is like, I wish it came out a little bit better. But it's not an outright loss. It's not outright crying about it, disappointment, gnashing of the teeth and pulling out of hair. It's nothing like that. It's just like a subtle, this could have gone a little better sort of feeling. With the Eight of Pentacles reversed, I think there's that feeling of, I put in all this effort, I worked so hard on this, and I only got, let's say, a passing grade, but it was like just barely. 1 point above passing. Let's say if you're asking about an exam, for example. Yeah, you passed, but did you get the score that you wanted? No. So that's the feeling that I'm getting here. It's not an outright negative result, but it's a little bit disappointing. Let's get the last couple of cards. Okay. Normally, I try not to do the whole king is male, queen is female, and insist that queens and kings are people. But this is strongly giving me the vibe. If it is a love question and you are between two people, I think the person that you're not as attracted to is the better option for you, and I feel like you know that, and it's disappointing. And the other person you feel is your better soulmate, is maybe they're hotter, but they're actually not necessarily your best fit. You just like them more. Now that's in a love reading. So that's why I can see it's a little bit of a disappointment. So for example, if you're dating two people, you kind of came to the realization, and maybe this reading is confirming that you know what, I think the guy that I'm not, or the gal that I'm not so attracted to is probably my better match. And that's a little bit disappointing. The same could be said about a school or an institution or a job, okay? So let's say the one that pays less is where you would be happier. And perhaps you actually know that and you're disappointed. And if this confirms that, please let me know in the comment section if that resonates. But that's the vibe I'm getting from these cards here, where it's between two things, you are getting the lesser, and that's very upsetting for you. Nevertheless, again, the overall outcome of this is positive. If you are trying to, let's say, communicate something or express something or do something, you are able to do that, and you're able to do it well. It just may not necessarily bring you, let's say, the amount of money that you wanted, or the amount of joy that you were expecting, or the amount of recognition that you were hoping for. So the outcome overall is not negative, but it's not so as positive as you had wanted, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you. I'm trying to think of different contexts that this could apply to. Let's say you had to make a speech. Your speech is gonna go fine, but let's say you're being paid for it. You find out that you're not being paid as much as you were hoping. Or if it's a matter of like putting something onto the CV or your resume, you find out that it doesn't, you won't be able to put it on the resume, or you won't be able to get the recognition put onto the CV. It won't give you enough points for your CV or whatever it is. Those academic points that I think psychologists, doctors, and I think lawyers, they have to take these continuing education courses, or if they go to a conference, this is how I understand it. They go to a conference and then they get points that go towards like continuing education. Perhaps the thing that you're asking about doesn't give you enough points. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting here. It's more like I wish there was a better outcome. So the outcome is okay. It's good. It's just not as good as you would have hoped. So unfortunately, that's sort of what I'm seeing here. But I am happy to say that it's not dramatically bad. So that's it. That's a good thing. And I believe that is all I see for you, group 4. Hopefully this resonated. If it did, let me know. And if it didn't, please let me know, because any context that you give will really help me make these videos a little bit more accurate. It's really difficult to do a general reading without having the context, but it's still, fun and entertainment to try, right? So yeah, I think that's it. And I wish you the best of luck in this situation, whatever it is. we can change the outcome here by meditating, praying, and just manifesting something different. You can very much just reject this and say, nah, I'm going to get the outcome I want. So that's what I'm going to pray for you, that we change this and make this the outcome that you're looking for. And yeah, I think that's it. So hopefully I see you in the next one. Best of luck to you and take care. Bye-bye.